Welcome to our Advanced ROM for DIRTT. This is an abbreviated video that combines the configuration, specifications, and reports into one. I do recommend that you take the time to sit through all the training videos so that you understand the potential of the software in a little more detail. Just like in our base, we need to do some configuration, and in this case it involves loading some unit pricing. So we're going to start by going into Configure, and then we're going to hit the Advanced bar and hit ROM Pricing. Now let's take a look at the templates we've already created for you. You can simply select one of these, and/or you can modify it and give it a new template name. Let me define what we have. First, we have DIRTT functions. So based on all the room functions that we set up in the base, we specified those rooms in DIRTT with DIRTT's specification software ICE. The ICE design team priced out low, medium, and high interior wall options in detail, and then averaged them to a cost per lineal foot for that function. Why don't we go ahead and select it, and we'll roll it down so that you can see a little bit more detail about what I mean. Our construction type is modular, and we're specifying new. And our first spec level is the name of the function with a size. And our second level is low, medium, and high, and a unit price for lineal feet, unit of measure. Again, if you've priced out some rooms that you want to include in a template, it's easy enough to do. Let's go ahead and roll down the casework, where you will see the rooms that we have gone in and actually specified millwork. And last, let's take a look at the electrical, which is just the functional electrical to power up the walls. Next we have iceberg functions. We've created the exact ICE specification in Iceberg, which allows you to see what the function will cost if you were to construct with the exact materials conventionally. Apples to apples, this is the comparison that will compare modular to conventional. In addition, we do have some templates that are combinations of the above single templates I just reviewed. Hopefully they are self-explanatory. These three top ones include room functions. This last one breaks down the interior walls into a bit more detail so that you can mix and match them in your own way and not just an average lineal foot cost for DIRTT. Lastly, like all of our sections, you can create your own templates by saving them at the bottom of the screen and call them what you want, and then they will become available for any of your projects. Now that we have configured our pricing, I'm going to show you how we just are specifying each template, reloading, and adding just the ones that you want to your project. Here's where you can type in a template that you can use in the future. Now that we have configured the pricing, we are ready to go into the ROM module and identify our scope of work. Here we have a list of questions that will allow you a way to get very specific on how you want to affect the pricing. Let's highlight some key questions for DIRTT DPs. The build-out year. When do you anticipate your construction taking place? We will adjust the pricing for conventional construction just similar to RS means. Forecast year. As you remember, you forecasted growth, so here you pick the year you want to show up on the reports. There's state and city, and just like RS means, the pricing will be adjusted based on the city you select. So what is the rate for your GP markup? Let me point out that the little I to the left of the question will define what this question means and how it will affect the pricing. What is the rate for condition of fees for conventional, and what is the rate for condition and fees for modular? This is the contractor's markup, so if we intend to do any kind of comparison, we will want to put the same number in for both. What is the DP labor cost per lineal feet? Now this number will be added on top of the price of the wall, so when you select a specification, this number will be included. So we have shipping and freight, and I know it's a tough one, but hopefully you have an idea as to the average and what it has cost in the past. And then we get down to the shared panel factor. Now this is where we apply a factor for shared walls. Now remember, we want to make sure we estimate enough money in the budget. We don't want to cut ourselves short. So if you did not apply a shared panel factor, it assumes that each room is kind of sitting on an island all by itself, all walls being built, and that would be a very conservative number. If you went with a 20% shared or a 30% shared, you're probably getting closer to reality, but make sure that you don't cut it too close. So 20% is probably a safe bet. Now, the first option to compare, we have the ability to create multiple pricing options. So if you would like to compare two options against each other to see what the price difference is, this is where you identify those two options. So basically on this page, it will everything will affect the pricing and how you are viewing them in your reports. Okay, so now we are ready to get back to specifying. We have functions and we have circulations to specify. So let's start with functions. And first we need to create our option. Let's call this the modular option. And then we need to select a year that we want to populate from your projections, all those quantities. So I'm going to go with 2015. Now the screen is populated with the functions and quantities from 2015. We have the size, square foot, the lineal feet with the shared factor subtracted from our totals. And in this section here in the middle, we are doing our specifications, and it will show how the pricing is affected for each function. We have condition, new, reused, or existing. And then we have, again, the ability to do a template that can standardize finishes and materials and then apply it to each function so that you can save yourself some time. You will note that if you hover over any one of the icons here to the left, you will get a description of what it will do. The ones with the asterisks over here, the functions, have an exact specification in DIRTT and Iceberg, meaning same dimensions, low, medium, and high. You will note that we also have a lactation room that we added when we were in our forecasting, because it didn't exist in my list of pre-made rooms. So this just means we need to find something close in size and description to use for our specifications. Let's start with the boardroom. We hit the icon to view the specification, and the screen rolls down. And now you will see that we have highlighted the boardroom so that we are clear on which room we are actually specifying. As we move on down the screen, you will see this master pricing bar that will add up the cost for conventional, modular, and furniture as you make your decisions. This is the specification section. Here are the trades that I loaded earlier that I now have the option to specify. I am going to stay very simple and only show you a simple way to specify the DIRTT walls, which is the unit pricing I loaded. If you would like to see some shortcuts and my suggestions on how to specify all trades for a total project budget, please watch the other videos. So let's go into interior walls and select modular. Next we go into specifications and hit anywhere in the bar. We then choose our option, new, boardroom, and then low, medium, or high. Let's select medium. And you will see that it took the lineal feet from above and multiplied the unit price. We don't have any millwork, so now let's move on to electrical for modular. We find our boardroom, and we select our medium price point, and it will automatically calculate to the square footage of the room. So it's that simple to price a room in DIRTT. We then move on to our next room. So this time let's take a look at the lactation room and how we handle it. First we go up and hit the specify icon. Now we go down and hit the interior walls. As we already know, we don't have a lactation room to select from, but it is not too hard to pick something that is close in size. We could go with a focus room at 8 by 8, or we could go with the wellness room that is a 10 by 10, a little larger, but probably more appropriate. And then we're going to want to select the medium option. So perhaps we want some millwork in this room. So let's take a look at what they have for millwork options. And again, the most logical choice is the wellness room. So we select that and then select the base and uppers. And let's pick the low price. Please note that the unit of measure for this casework is lineal feet with an asterisk. That means that our quantity is not going to pull from the wall lineal feet. An asterisk allows you to put in the number you want. So let's say we want 8 lineal feet of millwork. We would need to do a counter with conventional construction like you would do any other project. Let's specify electrical. And we're done. So let's do another option so that we can compare. Let's make it conventional construction. And we'll make it 2015 so we're consistent. And now we start over. But because we want to compare apples to apples, we need to specify exactly what we did in our modular option. So let's select the boardroom and hit specify. And this time we are going to select conventional construction type. And again, we will select boardroom. And let me remind you, this is an iceberg specification of the boardroom. We will do the same medium finish level. And now we're going to do electrical. If we go into electrical modular, you will see that it won't let me select anything because we aren't really wanting to do modular for conventional. So let's pick our boardroom with medium functional electrical, and there you go. Now we will need to do the lactation room. So we will select our lactation room. We'll select conventional, new, wellness. We're going to then select medium. And we want our casework. Conventional, wellness, low. And then we're also going to go ahead and do our electrical. For conventional, wellness, and functional electrical. Okay, so that should give you a good feel for specifications. And now we get to view our results. So let's move on to our advanced reports. But before I do that, I'm going to go back into my scope of work, which we find under the ROM tab. And we need to identify the options that we created so we can see a comparison. So let's go back. And we'll go down to these comparisons. We'll pick option modular and option conventional, and we'll save that. And now hit the reports icon. We have a number of different reports that are displayed, and the results are a little bit different for each one of them. And we're going to continue to add reports. So as new formats become available, they will automatically show up on your dashboard. For now, I'd like to start with the summary by trade. Now this report lists all the trades, and you can see the price for each and the cost per square foot. So let's zoom in on that a little bit so you can see exactly what I'm talking about. And then take a look at the comparison report, and here you can quickly see the option total numbers by construction type. Zoom in. The square foot costs and the difference between the two. And then if you would like to see a little bit more detail, you could go into the function by detail. If you have any questions, please go to our support page where you will find videos in much more detail as well as a user manual. Reach out to your rep or send us an email. We're happy to jump online and work with you one-on-one. Good luck!